My voice is still a little bit rough. I feel like I didn't stream in a really long time last weekend, and then during the week I
I feel stronger.
didn't quite get as long to recover as I'd hoped. Lots of meeting, lots of talking. So I'm probably not going to go for a very long time today. But we're going to hop back into
All right.
Planescape Torment. And yeah, so after stream last time, I did a bit of grinding. It was just running back and forth, killing Black Abishais on a certain map. They give about 7,000 experience each, and there's 2 on the map. So you just go to one side, kill it, go to the other side, kill it, and then you can go in a building there and come back out, and they respawn. So it's a quick way to get some experience. So I was just leveling up, and I got to the point where I'm going from level 12 mage to level 13 mage, which is when you get your second specialization. So I left leaving that specialization to the stream so you guys could see that. So if I hit level up, +2 intelligence gained from specialization bonus, +1 wisdom, 5 lore, spell memorization, and I get my normal stuff. So, oh, and you know what? I actually forgot what I was going to put my skills into. I think I wanted to do Dex, maybe? I kind of wanted, I want to have 16 Dex for certain things, or maybe for one thing in particular. But I think Constitution may be more useful overall, and I have like a Dex, I have a Dex tattoo that I can like swap on to get the buff there. So let me actually see if okay, it does buff my AC to get 1 more Dex. So I think I like doing 16 Dex there just for the AC bonus. So let's do my spells real quick. And get a level 6 spot. I'll go back to the spells in a second. So because of obviously because of you know, the grinding, the enemies would drop some stuff which I could sell, which gave me a bunch of money. I forget what I was at previously, probably around like 10,000 or something. But obviously I have much more now. So I wanted to show you, and then because of the leveling up, I also got Anna's pickpocket skill really high, and I also learned how pickpocketing works exactly, at least works with stores. So there's a max that you can get pickpocket up to, and it's lower than you can in, say, Baldur's Gate. In Baldur's Gate, you can like go over 100, and it keeps improving your chances. Here, I was able to max up to like 115, and then some of my buffs, like things that are buffing Dex, made it go up to 125. So I'm guessing the like standard max is 100, and then with like Dex at I don't know how much, but and then as you further increase Dex, you get more, so you can go over 100. So I'm at 125. And the way that Pickpocket works for stores is that each store will have like a failure percentage. I forget exactly what it's called, but for example, a store could have like a 25% failure chance. And what happens is it subtracts that from your pickpocket skill. So if a store has 25% failure chance and my pickpocket's at 125, then I actually have a 100% chance to steal from that store. In Baldur's Gate, I think there was an option for like a critical failure, like a 1% critical failure or something. I don't know if that exists in this game. But if so, not a big deal one way or the other. But of course, many stores have like a failure percent chance that's much higher than 75, or sorry, much higher than 25. So like a 75% chance would give me would subtract 75 from here, so I'd have a 50% chance of getting a successful pickpocket off. So even though I'm over 100% when I'm stealing from stores, I still have a high chance of failure depending on the store that we're stealing from. I think the most difficult store to steal from has a 95% chance failure, so that would be what I'd end up with, like 30% chance. Doing the math here. Okay, so that was a couple of things. So then, after I leveled her up for pickpocketing, I went around and stole a bunch of stuff to add to my stuff. So I'm gonna highlight what I ended up stealing from the stores. So, okay, but yeah, so before I get to what I actually stole, there was a couple other things I wanted to note. So previously I had the +2 Constitution tattoo on Anna, because she has 16, that would get her up to 18. Dakan had 18, but I actually switched that over to him because 20 gives him regeneration. So now both he and the Nameless One regenerate, so that means I don't need to like heal them via resting. They'll heal automatically, so I only have Mordida and Anna who actually need to heal from resting. And it just seemed like a better alignment of the stuff. Okay, then one other thing. Last time I had bought a ring for Anna. I think it was the Serpent Ring. Immune to poison, +2 save versus spells, and 33% resistance to magic. What I found while I was grinding was that this actually made me resistant to friendly magic as well. I'd like cast a shield spell on Anna and it would fail. So, I mean, there may still be use cases where, if I'm not going to be casting any buff spells, that's nice, or I'm fighting, an enemy magician, maybe it's useful. I don't know if I will micromanage to that level unless like I'm really having trouble with a fight or something. But because of that, I took that off of her and just replaced with an armor class ring. So, what did I steal or buy with all my leveling up? So I got an Angelus Eye, which I could put on myself if I wanted to. This does +1 armor class versus missile, but worse versus crushing, detect traps, and Thaco +1. See, do I actually have an Ion? I can actually do that. The 10% detect traps doesn't matter because my character's not a thief. The worse armor class versus crushing is not great because the bonus to missile attack, there's a lot more crushing damage in the game than missile attack. So this is like generally an overall nerf. However, +1 Thaco is a pretty nice bonus. I'm not 100% sure if I want to have that or not. And we actually had already had one of those in our bag before, so now I've got two. Not that I need to. I've only got one eyeball slot that I can switch out. Okay, so what else did I get? I got a couple of these Ring of Travelers, which just do +1 AC bonus. I put one on Anna. The other one went in the bag because everybody else is already full up on rings. I got a Crimson Sphere earring. This does plus resistance to fire, which Anna can use. I have no idea if I'm ever actually going to make use of that. It's kind of, maybe if I happen to get into a fight with a lot of fire and I remember it, sure. But I don't think any of the combat in this game is specific enough to do that. But it was kind of a unique item, and I thought I'd buy it because it's cool. So the other thing is I got one of these Magus Guards, armor class 6. So that's basically like wearing an armor that has 6. So this would be a buff on Anna. Oh, and actually, is this only usable by mages? Yeah. So I could put this on. So I could put this on. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So his armor class is already at 5, so that's better than the 6 from the bracelet. So that does nothing for him. Now, the Nameless One, my main character, I could put that on him and then move this one to Dakan, and that would give Dakan a +1 bonus over his armor. But because my AC is worse than Dakan's, I kind of like having the higher bonus on my character, at least for the time being. So I haven't moved that yet. And then the other item I bought was this notched dagger. I had a previous dagger. I actually forget what it was called, but it was just a +1 dagger. So this is a slight bonus to that. Yeah, so those are all kind of the specific items that I got or stole. And then I stole a gazillion spells. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but you can see I've got a lot more in my spell book right now. What I will highlight is the ones that I actually ended up like memorizing. But you can just assume I went through and stole literally every scroll that was available, with maybe a couple of exceptions where I already had 2 copies of it and wanted it. So yeah, I didn't change my level 1 spells any. My level 2 spell, I put Swarm Curse on Dakan to maybe come in handy against a enemy magician, and I stole that. And that's a spell I had stolen. I got this Unbearable Laughter, which debuffs male characters in an area. I might actually drop that though, for use of something else. I also got Vampiric Touch, which drains HP from the target and puts on my character, and can actually go over my max health by doing that. Let's see, level 3, level 4. I gave myself Force Missiles. This is like the level 1 spell magic missile, except higher damage. And Dakan got the Confusion spell, which is a AoE effect. Dakan doesn't have any level 5s. I got Cone of Cold for level 5. And then I don't have any level 6s yet.
Had to wake up from the dead in a place that must be hallucinating all this.
Just highlighted the ones that I that I actually ended up memorizing for slots, but yeah, pretty much the majority of my spellbook came from a stealing session after stream last time. Okay, so that's yeah, that's all we got up to.
I wonder what it was I
with
said
our grinding.
that
So
made
just
Death reject me.
Reiterate level 12. For me, Morty's gotten up to level 10. N is now 811, and Khan is 910. And I don't think Morty is ready to level up his teeth again, but let's actually check to see. Yeah, okay. So his teeth are still +2. I think they max out at +3, but they aren't ready for that yet. Okay, cool. And then I think probably the only other thing I wanted to mention was that last time I was considering going into the Godsman Foundry, which is up here. The gate is locked, but I now have I have a quest to get in there. I have to go pick up an order for someone, or deliver an order for someone. I forget exactly what. But I'm actually going to wait on that because I have the opportunity to get a new character pretty quickly here. And I've completed the lower ward except for that. So we're actually going to go to the next area. And the next area is the Clerk's Ward.
A bunch of scribes, but this section's got the fest hall in it, so it's a little more lively.
Kind of a random interjection from Morty there, especially with the voice acting. Not much voice acting in here.
I'm gone.
Okay. So we will end up, of course, going through and exploring literally everything here, but it made us shortly beeline to Nemel here. This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Greetings. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint, musical tinkling. 100 tiny crystal balls as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears, as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. So, what do we think the voice acting should be given that description? Nimble turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Wow. Ha! Anna sneers at Morty. Stop your drooling, Yellier and Skull. Also, I'm gonna have to get back into my Scottish accent for Anna. I'm terrible at doing accents like on demand. I have to kind of have like a phrase that they say, which really really accents, what they might talk to, like, stop your drooling, Yellier and Skull. Even that's terrible. Yeah. Also, my the voice is still a little worn out, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, so I don't know if I'll try much. My, what a hot-blooded little chit. Starve for attention? I could drool over you too if you're jealous. Marty starts floating towards Anna, making wet, slavering noises. Get a hair's breadth closer, Skull, and I'll see to it that not one of your chattering teeth lies within 100 pieces of another. Morty stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligibly. You're Nemel. I was told you know this command word for this decanter. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Nemel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its like before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize now you know the word Nildenosage, though you're certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she had told him? Not just yet. Are you looking for someone? Where could she be? Nemo wondered. Oh, she's actually narrating this. Where could she be? Nemo wondered. Her companion, Eowyn, was supposed to have met her here days ago. The woman sighs miserably. The air around her grows chill with her sadness. How long must she search this vast foreign city before she finds her dearest friend? I can help you find your friend. What does she look like? Nemo clasps her hands together and bows her head to you. She would be so pleased to hear news of her friend. You told the kind stranger what Eowyn looked like, so that he would know her should he come across her. An image forms in your mind. A woman who resembles Nimble, but with golden eyes and hair of fiery crimson. I'll return if I find her. Farewell. Okay, so we're gonna come back here in just a moment, but because we learned the command word for this decanter, you know the command word for this item, and you're confident you can put out most any fire, no matter how intense. We can go use this on Ignus.
All right.
Who we saw very early on in the game. And now we're coming back to you much, much later.
All right.
So, let's make a, now, this is not a nice fellow from all we've heard. He basically burned down an entire portion of the city with people in it, and mages got together to exact, to cage him essentially, or exact revenge on him, and turned him into essentially a living fire. I wonder if this decanter of endless water will do something. You tilt the decanter over the grill and begin to pour. A small stream of ice blue water pours from the decanter and touches the flame of the grill with a violent hissing and a rush of steam. As if in response to this challenge, the decanter seems to lunge forward, falling onto the grill and shattering. By the hells? Hissing billows of steam and a furious crackling noise rushes from the grill, spilling over you and forcing you to cover your ears and turn away. There's a scream, a cackling, a terrible sound like 100 buildings burning. People screaming, their screams being cut short by the roar of flame and melting flesh. Cover your ears and block out the sound. As you put your hands over your ears to block out the sound, you feel a stickiness on your hands, like hot cheese or candle wax. Your ears are bleeding from the sound. You draw your hands back and see them covered with chunks of melted flesh, filled with bloody swirls. Try and get out of the bar. You're about to run from the bar, anything to get away from the sound, when suddenly, all falls silent, except for a jagged crackling coming from the grill. You turn. On the grill lies the decanter of endless water, now nothing but shards and steam. Above it is the creature, flames still trailing from its body, floating above the bar's floor. It is staring at you, its eyes flickering like two torches. I know you.
Yes.
The creature's face splits, charred flesh peeling away from its jaw so that it might speak. Yes. Its voice crackles, burns, roars through the creature's chest, and with every word, flakes of cinder and ash spit from the mouth and drift into the air. You can barely stand to look at the thing. The blazing radius surrounding it is terrible to behold. Ignus.
Yes, long have I slept, dreams of flames. I am yours, till death comes for us both.
The creature floats towards you, the air bending from the thermals surrounding it. As if in response, flames curl within Ignus's throat, and a tongue of flame streams from behind his blackened teeth. Alright. So, new character. Yeah, he's level 7, so hope he'd be behind our guys, but that's fine. Chaotic neutral. Oh, that's interesting. I assumed he would be evil. Okay, so let's see what spells he has here. Seeking Flames. So this is a debuff. Short AoE debuff. Tongues of Flame is like a magic missile, but fire-based. I'm trying to remember if he has a ranged attack or not. Actually, let me just test this real quick.
Yes, my master.
Okay, yeah. He does in fact use a ranged attack. He has an utterly terrible AC. Let's a couple things here. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Guess he has a natural AC better than that. How much does this buff him? Only 1. Okay, so his natural AC is 5. I didn't actually realize that would be the case. Okay, that's fine though. He'll be staying out of range for the most part, so that's fine. Did we have any other AC bufferings? This is Say versus Poison. I don't know if that's specifically even really much use. See what his resistances are here. So he's weak to cold, but strong to everything else, but he doesn't have any poison resistance, so giving him that ring makes sense, I think. Okay. Okay, so let's see what other spells he has here. It's level 2. So this is an AoE terror attack. This is a damage plus debuffs strength and dexterity very, very slightly. Saving throw negating is kind of annoying. Fiery Rain. So this is an AoE, but it's not target friendly. Infernal Shield. So this buffs my fire resistance, but I already have like a really high fire resistance. I don't know if buffing it anymore is actually useful. So this is basically a higher level magic missile, but only fire
Ignus
elemental.
wishes to burn.
Okay. So I can give him other spells. These will be some of these are like lower some of these will be slightly weaker versions of spells that I already have. I guess I can sell these now, because everybody has these. Okay, actually, let's check this. Magic Missile, 2 to 5 points of damage. Is this exactly 3 to 6? So this is actually a better Magic Missile. So we can sell that. Chromatic Orb. Everybody knows now. So let me double check here. So I think... So this shield lasts longer, but buffs less than the shield. Maybe we'll keep him as and also very similar. The strength lasts less or lasts longer, but buffs less. Maybe we keep him as like our offensive spellcaster for now,
Ignus hears
and
you,
see
yes,
how
my
that
master.
works out. Okay. I need to step away for just a moment. I will be right back. Okay, so let's talk to Ignus. Ignus, what happened to you to make you this way? This way. The small pocket of flesh on Ignus's cheek pops and runs in a streaming trickle down his jaw. This way Ignus always was. But you look human, or at least, you look like you were human once. Ignus twists, punching his head forward as his body spins slowly above the ground. The effect is much like a fiery whirlwind, thermals streaming off his body and distorting the air around him. Still, Ignus, always Ignus. As you open your mouth to speak, Ignus suddenly whirls on you, and you are forced to choke back your words as the heat from his frame floods over you. Ignus, might be you, be sparks and bodies always seeking to rise. Sparks and bodies? What do you mean? All things burn inside. Ignus's head cranes back and throws his arms wide. Spirals of flame and heat traveling up his arms. Only need to be kindled with flames to become Ignus. So might you have been Ignus. So you're saying everyone has the potential to become like you? With the right spark? Yes. Ignus grins, cocking his head to one side. Ashes falling from his skull and being swept away in the flaming wreath that surrounds him.
Yes.
Ignus, is it true you burned down the Alley of Dangerous Angles? Ignus's face splits, the flesh around the corner of his mouth cracking, then remelting into charred, sneering red and black pieces. Yes, a dream shall Ignus share. A torrent of flames pours from Ignus, and you take a step back, the air bending from the heat. Streets at night, so cold. Ignus burned the buildings. The dwellers all ran from Ignus. The flames in buildings were as flames. Screams as the dwellers became torches. Buildings as skeletons, angles of bodies as skeletons, reds and oranges and blacks, the flames spreading, caressing such lights. Zzz. Ignus's fury dies, the wreaths of flames surrounding him, ebbing somewhat. He seems lost in thought, perhaps lost in memory. Ignus was pleased. Hiss! Your heart jumps as Ignus soars several feet into the air. His jaws tear open, fiery trails spilling forth like a nest of snakes. No more talking questions. Silence. But I wish to speak of flames, Ignus, and of burning. Your words were like oil, and you watch them fill Ignus's eyes, fanning the flames you see there. Flames? Ignus drifts down slightly, the heat around him rising, as if in interest. Speak. Ignus will listen. We'll discuss flames later, Ignus, not now. No, speak. He howls, and air twists around you, again from the sheer amount of heat. Speak of flames. Speak of the burning. Ignus, have you ever felt a building aflame? The flames licking the edges of the timbers, blackening the wood beneath, watching the heat peel the paint from the walls, thatch crackling, the smell of burning straw. As he speaks, the crackling of the flames around Ignus's frame ebbs, as if the flames themselves are listening to your words. When you finish, Ignus hisses softly, and the flames in his eyes have dimmed, as if he is lost in a memory. Yes. We'll speak later then, Ignus. Stay calm in the meantime.
Yes.
What were you doing in the smoldering corpse bar? Just a second, I need some water. Okay. What were you doing in the smoldering corpse bar? For a moment, you don't think Ignus heard you, when suddenly the fires in his eyes dim slightly. He gives a soft hiss, cinders and ash dancing around the edges of his jaw. Ignus once knew nothing of flames. Yes? Once Ignus knew nothing of flames. He set small fires, tiny flames, tiny flickerings, small bits of flame. Ignus hisses again, ashes and fiery motes drifting from the ruin of his mouth. The fires grew. Ignus set fires in their streets, and lit the fires of anger in their hearts. Ignus doesn't seem to hear you. He seems to be somewhere else, as if reliving a memory through his words. Against your will, you stop and listen. They sought to punish Ignus, the small flies from the hive. They wished to see Ignus burn after Ignus set fire to their streets. tiny magelings, hedge wizards, rune casters, tiny sparks of magic came to punish Ignus for hurting their loved ones. They sentenced Ignus to burn, made Ignus a torch, spitting flame, burning, burning. It was justice, they said. Justice. You watch, mesmerized, as Ignus begins slowly turning again, as he did above the grill in the smoldering corpse. But his was not a sentence. There is so much flames and pain that there is no pain. There is light and heat, and the flesh runs as tallow across my bones. And for the first time, Ignus is pleased. Ignus stops his rotation, and his gaze falls upon you. As it does, the fires in his eyes flare, and a charred grin splits his features, the flesh crackling and bubbling as it melts and streams across his face. Ignus wears the face of all hells, of flames, and his next words are spoken like a death sentence, not only for you, but everyone, everywhere. When the plains burn, and all life is torches, then Ignus shall at last be at peace.
Yes.
Ignus, I spoke with a storyteller in the hive, and he mentioned that someone taught you these things. Who? Of learnings and teachings, you know. Gouts of flame erupt from Ignus's mouth, in a horrid semblance of laughter. You have always taught Ignus. Ignus's master you were. Me?
Updated
Are
my
you
journal.
sure? Ignus's voice drops, and the crackling of flame dies. Yes. It is the only reason Ignus obeys you. Flames rise around him in a crackling spiral, till death comes for us both. Your words to me, to your student Ignus. Ignus has not forgotten, Master. Ignus, it must have been long ago when you learned the art. Are you absolutely sure it was me? Yes, he cackles. Yes, the face has changed, but many lessons you taught Ignus. And my face has changed, how do you know? Inside all things tiny flames. The spark, the flames, the same. No matter what the skin can bleed, skin can burn, but the inner flame remains. Can you remember anything about me? He hisses, and for a moment his features flicker. At first you think it's the flames, but it's not. It's the flickering of memory. Surrender to the memory. The cackling of Ignus's flame subsides, lessening as the charred bones of Ignus's body fold up, twisting into itself until his limbs lie motionless, becoming a stack of wood within a huge iron fireplace. You are staring into a fire, burning brightly within a vaulted room. The fire crackles and spits embers onto the stone floor, motes rising from the fireplace. Faintly, from the darkness behind you, you can hear the rasp of someone breathing. I can hear you. Step into the light. There is a shuffling of sandals, and a frail youth steps into the edges of the firelight. His wide, black eyes catch the flames and mirror them. He is nervous. You can hear his muscles shaking, his voice trembling, just enough to increase your irritation. Forgive my intrusion, Master. You have already intruded, supplicant. You did so with that intention. I will hear it now, then you will leave me to my thoughts. The boy takes a deep breath and glances at the fire. Master, I dreamed of flames again. Last night. They felt real, and you said that we were to come to you if... It was a dream, nothing more, now leave. The boy does not move. His brows draw together, and slowly he displays his hands. The flesh around the fingers, burned, blackened. How did your hands come to be burned, supplicant? I awoke and my hands were ash. The boy meets your gaze. He is still trembling, faintly, but there's an eagerness in his voice which angers you. I dreamed I soared above the earth, and the ground and the sky were as fire. The world itself was so bright that it hurt to look at you, master. And when I awoke, my hands, they were burned, as if I had held a flame within my hands. You lie, supplicant. You have come to me with a story, and now you are in danger of angering me. No, master. The boy's face glistens with a sweaty sheen of fear. No, upon my life, I do not. You burned yourself with a candle, supplicant, or thrust your hand within one of the pyres in the vault of currents. Now you come to me and tell me a dream burned you. I tire of your lies. The boy falls silent, and to your surprise, his face clenches in anger. No, I do not lie. It was the dream that burned me, master. As you said it might if we felt the power stirring. They were your words, and I came to repeat them to you, master, and tell you they are true. He holds up his hands. Look. Grab his hands. Before the boy can react, your hand, huge in comparison, lashes out, crushing his burned hands in its grip, and the boy screams, echoing in the vault. With a snarl, you hurl him to the ground in front of the fireplace, and there is a sharp crack as his knees strike the flagstones. Look into those flames, supplicant. Raise your head and look. The boy is shuddering from the pain from his knees. You watch tears blur his face as he raises his head to look into the fireplace. The flames cast his face in a red, gaunt glow. Is that what you wish to hold, supplicant? Is the shaping of flames what stirs in your heart? Know that flames can burn, and if you would learn your power, you must suffer their touch. The boy is silent, staring into the flames. He seems mesmerized. His tears have dried in the heat, and the shaking is gone. The flames are his focus. He is not listening to you, and you feel fury washing over you. If that is what consumes you, enough for you to intrude upon my meditations, then I shall teach you the shaping of flames, supplicant. Your hand lashes out, clamps onto the boy's wrist. He howls as you drag him closer to the fireplace, then thrust his hands into the coals. There is a crackling, a hissing of burning flesh, and his screams, such terrible, yet. To learn, you must suffer, supplicant. You must allow yourself to be burned by the power of that which you wield. Know its torment, and you shall know how to use it against your enemies.
Updated my journal.
Your vision clears, the memory streaming away like smoke. Ignus is hovering above you, his head cocked to one side, and an insane, blackened grin smears across his face. Master, Ignus has not forgotten your teachings. Okay, so, just like everyone, we have left a, quite awake in our, not a wake, a space wake in our past lives. Ignus, your mastery of the art, can you teach me any of your powers? Ignus once knew much. No longer. Ignus burns in suffering. Ignus learns. A tiny flame gusts from his mouth, like laughter, and a stream of embers spits forth. Suffer. Learn. I'm willing to suffer for such knowledge. You're about to speak the words. As you are about to speak the words, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. You are suddenly struck with the certainty that the knowledge Ignus has to teach you may permanently scar you, but you don't know how you know this. I am willing to suffer for such knowledge. Suffer? Flames flicker eagerly along the edges of Ignus's mouth, spiraling up along the melted ruin of his face. Burn? Pieces of self are burned away. Ignus may still teach much. I wish to learn. Can you teach me some of the art? Where flames once burned, one may send them again. Before you can react, Ignus's claw lashes out and clutches your finger, and with a greedy hiss, he burns it. And through the searing pain, you close your eyes and scream. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand from where Ignus touched it. He floats above, uncaring, cradling your finger, then snaps the tip off, leaving just the base. He hisses, cinders of ash drifting from his mouth, and he flicks the charred remains of your finger back at you. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Teachings. Ignus cackles, the sound now strangely painful to your ears. To learn, one must suffer. So we lost an HP, but we got a spell. It may not actually be worth it, but I like to do this. Want to do this, for completeness in the story, even if we don't end up using the spell. It seems like he could teach us more, but we've also got an ad coming up in just a minute. So I'll probably break for that before starting any more conversation so we don't get interrupted in the middle. Grab some water while I'm at it. Alrighty, well the ad's gonna start here in a couple minutes. And I need to go refresh my water. So we'll go ahead and start the break now. Save real quick, and then I'll be back after the break. See everybody shortly.